Coming out of last week, J-Team, the opposite really. Looking extremely strong. Now looking at runes, it does appear that it will be the Poke Varus, being that it is the domination tree with Hail of Blades first. Could also be the AP, but not likely, considering that Lilia in the jungle. And all things considered, I think most things fairly standard. There is the Conqueror on the Azir instead of the Lethal Tempo, but we see those kind of get interchanged here and there.
Yeah, I think it might even make sense this game, because I'm not sure how much you're actually going to be autoing. Maybe just want to instead stack that up and then go in for a big ulti. Mid lane runes are a little interesting though. I mean, first strike up against Azir. Sometimes you see the phase rush picked up, sometimes even the conk, just for some of those earlier trades. Does feel like you can kind of take what you want though, but Minji might actually lose priority off of that. Had to go and grab that board there. And that's going to allow 116 to push pretty early. And Beyond's bot lane here earlier as well. Feels pretty hard to contest Ash Milio though. He's getting prio anyway. Well, we're really just looking for a stable early game from J-Team. And if you're Beyond, you want anything but. And that already some trades coming out in bot lane. I think Bruce might have cleansed. I'm not too sure what happened there. I have to see the sums.
Yeah, I think Blight trades in the mid lane as well. 116 diving in with hammer form and taking a few base Azir auto attacks on the way out. Bot lane definitely though looking like it is favouring Beyond for the moment.
Yep. Driver will be giving up some of that top prior, just doesn't really want to be exposed as his jungler pushes to that bot side. And he's fine. You know, we've seen him do this in lots of matchups.
Interesting clear by the Sejuani, going Raptors top side back down to the bottom side. It makes sense that you are coming towards the Ashe lane, but it's just an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, it's a little different. Well, mid has been really heavy trading.
Lakai going for a proxy, but not all the minions will follow him.
Mid's going to get the wave behind the tower, though. Which is kind of nice. I mean, can avoid just getting queued by the GP. There's a big bot wave built up here, but Lilia can't really pressure early, and there's no way Jace can come down here either. So I think J-Team will just pick this up, at least for now. But actually, I mean, to my surprise, the Varus is the one getting prio. I would have thought Ash Milio would be stronger, but maybe not super early. I mean, there is that Hail of Blades, of course.
I think the Hail of Blades adds a lot to the early lane phase. Now, it will be Lava, spotted out by that Scryer's Bloom. Ooh, massive trades, yeah.
He's going to be able to get a free reset, though, I believe. Just get off the map here. We'll see what he buys. Because he's gone for the Dawn's Blade start instead of the likes of the Longsword refillables. So pretty much no chance he, does not have a Dirk. Just goes for the Tier Sword, which is going to allow Azir pretty free laning phase here.
Both teleports as well, committed.
I feel like Minji is actually stronger here. Has a lot of AP. Jace kind of still needs some time. Well, Kongre, I mean, he hasn't really had to interact a whole lot yet. Might have his Raptors invaded here by Lava. Is just going to pull that away. But so far, it is that slow game. And
ooh, stun land. There is no cleanse available. Bruce getting fairly low. Chunked out there by that piercing arrow. Is going to get away. And actually, the return trade.
Yeah.
Actually, fairly favorable to J-Team. Kira's obviously staying very healthy. Got to dodge this. Well, the shield blocks all incoming damage from that, so. Ilio's power being felt.
I wonder if they'll stay. I mean, they have health pots, but they don't have any mana. They're going to try to go for the reset, but I think Enzo might cancel this, and now Betty's in a pretty rough spot. Looks like it will just be resets matched from both sides.
You know, we spend so much time talking about J-Team's both top and mid. Obviously, Driver and Minji playing so well, but a little known stat that I think is really interesting and really shows the skill that the bot lane also have, is that Enzo currently in the league is sitting at the second highest KDA out of all players. Now, as a support, and he has predominantly played a lot of Alistair, a lot of Nautilus, but to maintain second highest KDA on those champions, whilst it's not like he's been playing for KDA, he's been absolutely engaging and whatnot. I think that is a real testament to just how strong this bot lane are, and like a lot of it goes unnoticed, but having that sort of stat line is really, really important. I think it's something that people don't really notice when you look at this bot lane from J-Team.
For sure, yeah. This is pinged. It's going to allow J-Team to push if they need. Hongwei's in the area as well, though. Well, so far, there's nothing too much happening. There is pings towards that dragon. I don't think it's going to be looked at just yet. Now, 116 got a recall off here somewhere. Didn't manage to get the Dirk, but got another sword. And Lakai, he does get a plate top lane. So starting to get some gold for himself, but you feel like that might be the last one you get. Bruce could be in trouble.
Does have cleanse available, isn't going to commit it. In fact, dodges out of that knock-up there from Keres. And the follow-up damage, the bowling ball does go wide, but look at the damage coming out of Bruce. Almost takes out Keres. In fact, now he's looking at Betty.
Oof.
With the lethal tempo fully proc, there's so much damage in bot lane. Heavily, heavily in favor of J-Team with those trades. And it's now the Dragon being looked at, which really is just going to be the benefit of how well that trade went.
For sure. And I think when you've got this sort of bot lane, you know, the Varus, Rel, if you don't manage to win the trade early on, you're definitely not going to win a long trade. So need to find those quick ones and get out, but unfortunately, the Rel did miss.
And I
First
think
Dragon.
Dirk, Varus should be, well, obviously Ashe, Melio, a very strong lane, but having the Dirk, Varus, you still definitely want to come out of the lane ahead. And so the fact that it's even at this stage where it is the Dirk versus the Carrot feels very, very good for J-Team. Even picking up an early Dragon, meaning even if BYG start to get stronger in the mid game, they are able to give up a Dragon and feel pretty comfortable that Dragon win con is going to allow them enough time to scale.
Yeah, that does feel like the big thing. Oftentimes, you're expecting to maybe give the first drag if you are playing something like the Azir mid. But I mean, honestly, how strong they are. Maybe they can go for more. They're going to trade onto bot side, low HP.
Oh yeah, Lilia top side. BYG being completely forced away from their tower.
I really like this. They've got the GPR as well. Obviously,
comes forward. Arctic Assault will land here onto Keres. The stun will not be able to come through. The CC onto Lava will mean that no follow-up. But yeah, it is going to be Rift Herald here for Beyond on the opposite side. I think that's a fine trade, though. You don't really expect to win that. Cannon Barrage, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow will land in Lava with that Glacial Prison. Will land it onto Benny. Finds himself first blood for Driver up in that top lane. And Betty with no cleanse now. It is one. Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Oh, dearie me.
You hate to see it. And
it was a flash trade, but could have been a kill.
Yeah, it's pretty big as well. Jace not having flash versus Zia is very scary. You can get ulted and ganked really, really easily. Also important was that Driver was the one that picked up that first blood. I mean, that accelerates him here a lot. And must be extremely frustrating for Lakai, who's been laning fine in top side, but now that Gangplank is going to find himself very accelerated up there. And this is the strength of the Gangplank, right? It's a good weak side champ, can just kind of like clear out the waves. And then old bot lane, I mean, just look how much damage comes through. And I think Betty might have walked back. Oh no, it was Keres that died. That's right. But yeah,
that was a really good cleanse by Betty, though.
This is...
Oh, no.
Yeah. That sucks.
I actually don't know why he flashed, though.
Okay, direct your eyes to Conway. He's building a Rod of Ages on the layer, which is something I've seen before. But I feel like if you're solo AP, it might just be better to go Leandries, just because it is more damage. But wants to be a bit tankier while doing it. Has the Conqueror, so it's kind of built for it.
The damage.
Ashe Miller doesn't seem too fun to play against.
Ashe just isn't fun to play against.
Well, Conway has his Herald. Question is, where does it end up being used? Because like mid lane could be the target.
Has his Rod of Ages now.
Okay, decent timing. I mean, he's got it fairly early.
How much is it going to matter, though? I think that's yet to be seen.
Yeah, so far, I think you are definitely liking J-Team's chances. Nothing's really happened, which definitely benefits them, and they even managed to get that drag. So things are looking good. Question is,
Oh! Hate to see it.
really wonder, I mean, do they just go mid and drop the Herald? Feels like you might have to soon. Driver picks up a Triforce. It's really far ahead. I think Lukai might grab himself a second plate in top. Yeah, it looks like he's going to grab, maybe even going to get 3. So, getting pretty good stuff out of the laning phase. You're still pretty worried, though, with just how strong the gangplank is going to be. You know, I feel like 3 plates, you might even still be behind in gold with how much Driver's gotten.
Yeah. Gangplank kind of just prints money. Also the first blood, of course. Maybe we'll be able to... Oh, he's already found himself at least 1 plate. Isn't going to go for the greedy auto attack.
Did Lukai not buy anything?
Yeah, Lukai did not buy anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if he couldn't. Or... Wow. Okay. These crit... Well, there's not even crits. It's just Sheen procs.
Yeah, well, he's at such a huge item deficit.
Lava in the area, and teleport coming in through Minji is going to land the Glacial Prison. They're trying to find the follow-up. The Cannon Barrage does come through, and the Emperor's Divide will find Kongyue. The sleep's going to be meaningless. It's a second kill here for Driver. We've seen what he can do on the Gangplank. Last time picking up a pentakill, and he's en route to finding so much more success again.
Yeah, now forced away, at least briefly, as the Kai, and Kongyue just walks in, taken out. TP advantage on mid was used very well. And yeah, he's going to be such a big problem. Kongyue, he probably thought he was fine to walk through and gank Driver, but doesn't respect the TP, doesn't respect the lava can be there, and even with everything used, Kongyue ends up just being taken out.
I think importantly, that should probably force out a really... Wait, did he even use the heal? He didn't. Heal just...
Oh, I just
went to the abyss.
Yeah, maybe he was going to try gank top and then Herald, but I mean, that is huge. This is going so well for J-Team. I want to see how much gold Lukai has in his inventory, because I'm 90% sure he didn't buy before, and that's really making his lane tough. He was on the map for a long time.
Oh, Lukai, you're in trouble.
Yeah, this is tragic. I mean, he must have so much gold, right? He took 3 plates before and didn't buy.
Now, do they get this? It is Youmuu's and Duskblade completed, so you feel like Beyond should have the strength to win this, but I mean, J-Team aren't exactly behind at the moment, and the poke going wide, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, it only lands onto Kyrres. The Rel, certainly not the target you want. Bruce, though, quite strong, and Lava is trying to angle for something, although the Chain of Corruption should stop it. Magnetstorm comes through. It is going to be onto the Sejuani. The Emperor's Divide finds both Kongyue and Kyrres. Bruce picking up 1, Bruce picking up 2. Lukai arrives, but it's just too late. They get the Dragon, but it was for 2 kills now for J-Team, and they're up 4-1, as well as First Blood Tower for this Gangplank up in top.
Yeah, already the game feels almost unlosable for J-Team. You can't be losing these fights as Beyond, but I think the problem is that, sure, you've got these 2 pokers, but there is actually a fair amount of sustain that can come out of the Milio.
And they're missing.
Yeah. And honestly, just not a whole lot of poke actually landed, right? By the time this fight starts, they're engaging onto a full HP tank with no real damage landed. And it feels like J-Team just executing the team fight a lot better overall than Beyond. And you see this a lot when these double poke comps are played, and unfortunately poke Varus isn't quite the same as poke Kai'Sa, where you still have that teamfight DPS to back it up. The thing's really getting out of control for Beyond. They did manage to get a drag, but lost so much on top side in the meantime, and obviously lost that fight as well. And this is maybe a problem too with the Rod of Ages Lilia, right? It still hasn't kind of hit its spike, but you've taken so many fights.
Getting pretty confident. Orange is used. Is not going to be able to find that barrel, but pretty big trade found back there onto 116. And I want to say, after that play top, Driver finding himself the tower, finding himself the kill, was able to pick up both the completed boots, a dirk, and also a pickaxe. So he's almost at 2 items here, almost at his collector. I think at that stage, this gangplank is going to really put down some hurt.
For sure.
Mid tower now, is it going to go down? Kongwei in the area, bowling ball does not hit.
It looks like this should fall. Or pretty close to
Very,
it.
very low. Benji in the
was on
area,
the
yeah.
flank.
Betty's also quite low, and I think this is the problem with having such a strong AD carry on the likes of the Poke Varus is things around the map go badly, and all of a sudden this guy that truly can 1v9 is not really going to have the resources to do so, even if he gets the gold.
No, and I think it's going to be pretty hard to be a Varus. Oh, TP coming on to double TP.
Yeah, double
onto
TP driver.
He can TP out maybe if he realizes. Oh, he doesn't know.
He doesn't, but is there going to be a response? Absolutely not. Driver is going to be going down. Can he find a kill for it though? Doesn't look like it. A lot of chain CC, and it is a kill here. Found for this Jace. 1116 going to be pretty happy about that. Getting Gangplank off the map as well as the shutdown. Feels pretty nice.
Yeah, ultimately though, it was 2 TPs invested, and there isn't any objective to speak of. So I feel like gold-wise, well, of course it was worth it beyond it. It wasn't that great a pick. And Lakai, he might actually have to be careful bot lane. Zero, if he forces him into the tower, would definitely be able to win.
Bruce is going static. I wonder if that's an answer to the fact it's a Varus.
It could be, yeah. I mean, it allows him just to clear the wave and not really have to interact at all, which feels kind of good.
Obviously, he is going to go Triforce second, but generally the Ashe builds we see in most matchups, at least, is Kraken into Triforce. So you will have the same amount, really, or even a little bit more attack speed coming through. You'll lack a little bit more damage. But I think ultimately he's not really having to do the damage this game. He has a Gangplank, has an Azir.
Yeah.
So it's really fighting over these mid waves. And of course, will land actually the Enchanted Crystal Arrow there, forcing out the cleanse. With 1 minute left until this dragon, massive summoner spell to have lost as this Varus.
Yeah, you do feel bad for Varus in this next fight. And Driver needs to be a little careful. He is going to be able to clear out the wave, but there are a lot of people on his side of the map. I think he's going to be okay. The mid tower could fall pretty soon. Beyond did move away from it. They've got Kangwei in the lane showing, but it's going to take a lot of damage.
Wow. Okay, Breath of Light traded there for the Chain of Corruption. Not sure who... In fact, I think that actually favors Beyond, because now Lilia can perhaps find some value. Although I will say it's pretty hard to find a multi-man sleep without having the Zhonyas. One of the most potent sort of Lilia combos that we traditionally see is sort of a flash Q into Zhonyas.
Well, 15 seconds. Beyond, they're posturing to contest, but I think it's going to be so hard for them. They haven't really landed a whole lot of poke. A bit on Bruce, which is a good target, of course. But if you want to trade something, you need to go for it now. Looks like they are going to trade. 116 is running towards the top tower, which I think is probably the best they can do. But it definitely feels like the poke comp is already kind of useless, honestly.
Does definitely feel that way.
I think Sedge is building a Mikhail, which is probably smart.
Yeah, I like it.
It does feel like if you don't get poked too low, and then they can't find the engage if you do fall low, it's pretty hard, I think, for Beyond to win a team fight. So another drag picked up by J-Team. Beyond, they do deal, I think, a good job trading back. They take some top camps, get the top tower. This Jace is getting a lot stronger. But at the same time, I mean, there's this really fed Gangplank. Not going to be very easy to deal with.
Now, Azir with Crown, what do you feel about it? Because I don't really like it. I feel like there's just so many ways to get Crown off.
Yeah, I think it's pretty useless, to be honest. He probably just wasn't sure what to build because it's not a great Leandry's game. I mean, I guess it's fine. Could have even been a Luden's game.
Do you ever rush Nashes? Surely.
Can do. Yeah, chapter Nashes is pretty common.
So I think in this game, obviously you don't get to auto that much, but when you go in, and after you go in, you will get to auto a lot. And in fairness, Nashes does still give 100 AP. It's not like it's simply there for the auto attacks. Obviously that is a big component of it, but... Oh, I don't even think I'd hate the Nashes first this game.
J-Team, they have control for now, but beyond, they really want to take it back. Maybe looking on mid. Kongo's Rod of Ages finally completes, but so much has happened that you have to feel like having the earlier spike would have been better. It's just how many skirmishes and team fights they've wanted to be involved in. They drop some vision, which will buy them a reset, but this is time that J-Team will use to just keep getting ahead. A driver is so fed.
Yeah. Printing money.
Yeah, I mean, his carries aren't even behind, and he's still well ahead of them. Just pretty insane.
1116 coming in second, and I think a lot of that is the shutdown that he picked up on the printed money from Gangplank. So.
Yeah. But it does feel bad, I think, for Lilia to be so low in the gold as well. I mean, this is a champ that really does function with items. And Kongyue as well is a player that definitely, you know, he's good at snowballing, plays well from ahead, but just won't find the same value as the Sejuani if he doesn't get the ball going soon. Lakai needs to be a little careful. He could be in trouble here. At least in taking a chunk.
See if the barrel can find... Oh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming down. Oh. Doesn't land, but Driver still takes his time to go forward. Really, really good spacing there. This is going to force out that Jack's ult, and wow, Driver's spacing beyond that counter-strike was actually pretty insane.
Was very nice. Lava picks up the redemption, so not going to be the Mikhail.
Okay, I can see that. You get slipped by Lilia, put the redemption on top of yourself.
I can also see it as just, it's a way to honestly heal up your team from the poke, right? It's,
yeah.
Seems a pretty smart answer. J-Team do have a lot of Baron damage. They're going to look at it.
Yeah, they're starting it. It was spotted out, but...
Yeah, need to look for the engage, though. I don't think you want to just sit here and get poked.
And there is no Ash ult. It is very, very short cooldown. We'll be up momentarily. Disengage before that accelerated shock blast is able to land. Again, we'll go back to our lane assignments. Now, what is Driver cooking? It's going to be a hull breaker.
Probably, yeah.
He loves his hull breakers.
That's going to make him super annoying to deal with. But once again, a relatively slow game coming out. But as we said before, you feel like that definitely favors J-Team. Beyond... I mean, when they hit 3 items on the Jace Varus, that's definitely a pretty big spike that they can look to abuse. But I feel like if they don't win on that, going to quickly get outscaled.
Shojin here completed from Lakai's Jax. So second item Shojin makes him a little bit more potent when it comes to these team fights, having that counter-strike available just a little bit more often. Certainly helpful.
Private. He might have item here. He's going to reset, and J-Team, they want to make sure that this Baron remains out of sight here.
Okay. Now I'm not sure what Driver's cooking.
Oh, he's got some move speed. Well, we'll see.
What's the doctor prescribing here?
Beyond, they're going to try contest, I think. They sort of have to. Bruce is up very aggressively, knows that if he can just bait out the Lilia ult, then it's a free win pretty much. But man, I mean, they're landing poke on a Bruce, but it just gets healed
Bruce
up.
is landing more poke than the Varus Jace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Flash engage here from Kongyue, but it's on to the tanks and Driver, who has oranges. He is going to use those, and a lot of barrels are being found, but ultimately it's Lakai who picks up the first one. It is traded in return. That's 2 now found for J-Team, and 1116 as well as Kongyue are on their retreat. Flash away does 1116 as Minji hot on pursuit. Should not be able to find it, but attention now looking like it's going towards this Baron. Now there are still poke tools. There is still the jungler alive, as well as both the Varus and the Jace, so this is not as simple as just taking it. If 116 and Betty can land enough poke, it could be a little bit more controversial. Kongyue coming around the side does not have flash available. So if they are able to guard him and make sure he can't get in the pit, could be important, but massive amounts of poke here is found from both of these carries of Beyond. It is, however, going to be this Baron picked up from J-Team. They are going to recall, and importantly, because you have the poke Varus, because you have the poke Jace, You don't have the damage really to burst out this dragon. And now Lakai turning up, you might have the time to do it, and Driver teleporting top should confirm it. So you do... okay, that is going to be...
Enzo?
Okay, Enzo not willing to try.
That's still good, though. I mean, there's a lot of tempo invested into this bot side and the dragon, and they're not going to be able to easily set up for defending this Baron. Now, nice engaged by Kongyue, but... Oh, what is this? Lakai's flank? If you pay attention to Betty, I mean, he has to flash over the wall and misses the ult on the Azir, and now he just can't do anything for the entire fight. In the meantime, the Ashe and Azir just DPSing completely untouched. And I hate to say it, but I'm a Varus hater, and this game is definitely justifying it to me.
Yeah, that's another tower now taken. Glacial Prison does go wide, but the Emperor's Divide will find two. 1-1-6, one of the targets will be the first to go down in the team fight. Minji over, getting quite low, will go golden as Driver claims himself one there onto Kongyue, and it's going to be Lakai, leap striking out of there. And ultimately, after 27 minutes, it should be J-Team picking up their win against Beyond, evening the head-to-head to 1-1. Lakai likely to go down here, might find a kill on Minji. In fact, he won't, so it is a clean ace. It's also the game, and now the head-to-head 1-1, but a very, very convincing one here for J-Team.
It was, and I think, you know, like you said, very convincing, very